Okay.
Sports don't build character, they reveal it. That was said by John Wooden, the former UCLA basketball coach. But some like kids might have like anger issues, so that can be dangerous for the other kids if they're playing, because they might get mad at them and hurt them. And if you like, for example, like in Dominic Sue, he like hurts other players on purpose. So I might like want kids to like be like him and then hurt the other kids. Like a study said that when kids do just one sport, they're more likely to get injured in that sport. If you have one concussion, 3 or 4 are more likely. And then once kids get more serious about sports, they'll get more competitive and they'll get like injured more. Kids like start sports too young because like, well, some kids might be more mature than others, which like might make them stronger, and that could hurt them. So, thank you.
Sports are not changing. Today, people think sports are too intense, but I disagree. To succeed in anything in life, you must push yourself to the limits. Sports are the same way. Sports have many social benefits. In a survey of 11 soccer players, 9 out of 11 of them expressed how sports brought them together, they helped them fit in, and they helped them make friends. Sports also have many physical and mental benefits. Sports can make you healthier, and they can cause a positive effect on depression. And they also can help to prevent several chronic diseases.
I'm on the side of sports are too intense. People change for 2 main reasons. Their minds have been opened or their hearts have been broken. This was by Stephen Aitchison. We need to raise more awareness on how sports have just gotten very intense, and instead of being fun, they have turned this into a free-for-all for everyone. And people won't change until something very drastic happens to their child. So, a lot of times in sports, this mostly happens in high school, but hazing occurs. If you don't know what hazing is, it's imposition of strenuous, often humiliating activity or tasks that is a form of initiation. So what happens in it is older players humiliate the younger players. And in cases of hazing, they have been very intense. I'm going to spare the details, but they have sexually assaulted the younger players, and the coaches have been in the room while this was taking place. And adults have even encouraged hazing, mostly not to this extent, but still, it's not good to encourage it. Another thing you see a lot of times at sports events is parents cussing out like players, coaches, or just other parents. You see this so often, it's just a common thing. But I've been to like even little league stuff, and you constantly see coaches, you just constantly see adults, the people who are supposed to be the role models, just acting like kids, acting like they're 2-year-olds and throwing tantrums. In a study done by the Merrill, Boone, and Cricket Chance to Shine, 40% of kids had seen adults abusing officials, and more than half of them said that their parents' behavior made them want to quit sports.
Sports are not too intense. They teach you they make you stronger, they give you self-respect, and my quote from Haywood Brown, sports do not build character, they reveal it. Sports have been around too long to stop them now. you might get hurt in sports, but that's part of it. That's part of the sport. If you're gonna join it, you're gonna get hurt. And
Sports are too intense. A popular phrase from 2012, "You only live once," has never been more true with the occurrence of steroid use in youth sports and the injury rate. In a society where looks are so important and sports are so intense, these problems will not go away without the right path of action. Injuries are too accepted in schools. Dr. Keith Clevin says that over half of athletes will receive an injury that will require them to see a doctor or therapist more than once in their athletic career. Dr. Stephen Thomas says that for every 2 football games in high school, there's at least 1 visit to an orthopedic surgeon. Frederick Muller says that the highest rate of injury in a sport is football, which also has the most players. And schools do not have the money to get trainers and rehabilitation to stop the injuries. Steroids are also too common in youth sports. Half of the teens who said they do steroids said they started before the age of 16 and were persuaded or encouraged by parents and coaches. There's no doubt that steroids are starting a subculture in youth sports. Using steroids can also lead to very many problems mentally. You can get depression, it can also stunt your growth, and it can lead to what some scientists call reverse anorexia, where people get so obsessed with how they look that they never stop. 40% of teens said they would not stop using steroids in any circumstance, and 42% of teens who use steroids said that they were persuaded by celebrities who do steroids. Schools could spend millions on drug testing high school athletes, but it would be pointless because teens today know how to mask them so well.
very nice.
Exercise is good for the mind, body, and spirit. Furthermore, team sports are good for learning, accountability, and dedication. Among other traits, putting sports in your life is a winning combination. 30 million kids go out for sports. When you sign up to do a sport, you're dedicating yourself to carry through it, and the intensity should help you carry through it too. Sports improve your skills. Discipline is something you need growing up, and you get a lot of discipline in sports. So you need them.
One minute break. Prepare your rebuttals.
Good job, Audrey. I like this.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna agree with your side and say, yeah, there was.
Yeah.
They should do.
10 seconds. And stop.
Okay, well, Austin said you can push your, sports teaches you to push yourself to the limits, but some kids might push themselves over the limits, and they might hurt themselves badly. And also, Austin also said like the social, like you can make new friends, but like the hazing, that can also be a social issue because you could get bullied in sports and like other kids could hurt your feelings. And then sports are dangerous for the youth. It just doesn't hurt the kids, it hurts the families too, because like kids, like the parents are like, they're like acting out in sports and acting like kids in the sports, and like they're just complaining all the time.
Spearing, hitting an unguarded receiver, targeting, and full Nelsons are all things that are illegal in sports for a reason, because they are potentially harmful and dangerous. In sports, you are taught the right technique and the right form for a reason, not just because it's the way to play the game, but to also prevent injuries. To prevent injuries is very important, and safety can be protected by doing this. Sports are not too intense. They offer many physical, mental, and social benefits, and no matter the intensity, kids can succeed if they commit. As Vince Lombardi said, the difference between a successful person and others is not a lack of strength, not a lack of knowledge, but rather in a lack of will.
The opposing side said that sports are very good for you, good at making you healthy and teaching you good choices. But they could easily do more hurt than harm. Most of the time, we focus a lot on the physicalness of sports and how they hurt you physically. We don't always focus on the mental issue of it. Sports can cause a lot of stress, which can easily lead to anxiety, depression, or even heart attacks, just to name a few. There's so many attributes just mentally that come from sports that I think we also need to focus on that more too. The most important thing is to enjoy your life, to be happy. It's all that matters. That's a quote by Audrey Hepburn. It shows that we need to stop focusing on making youth sports so intense, because not very many people actually make it. I think we have to focus more on the fun factor, because that's one of the main reasons kids quit, is because sports have not become fun anymore. And I just think we all just need to let loose and make it a nice experience for everyone.
Theo said that players are getting hurt too much, and that they're playing too much. But more people get hurt playing one sport than focusing on two sports. Like, more people get hurt playing one sport than playing two sports. Like, if they play two sports, less of them have got hurt.
Oh.
My opponent says that the intensity of sports should propel you to do your best. But the intensity could lead you to an addiction to greatness and an obsession with winning. It's not uncommon that in high school sports, sportsmanship is not the #1 thing on the athletes' or the coaches' minds. Sports should be made less intense. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. That quote was said by Albert Einstein. He knew that if no change was made, there would be no solution to any problems. We need to focus on making youth sports more about the game and less about pain. Schools don't need to spend money on getting rehabilitation, extra training, and all of that. They just need to focus on making the game more fun. Okay. Surveys show that the only reason why the coaches are so hard on their students is because they want their opportunities just as well as they do. They want to carry them on and take them to state because it's a great opportunity. And if you're getting hurt to like an extent point where you can't like function mentally, then that's something wrong with the team. It's not. I would say it's something wrong with the team, not the sport, because
That's all right. Keep going.